In this issue, we will start unusually and present to your attention the following forecast from scientists. You will understand why we did this later.
The first countries that will cease to exist in the next 5 to 7 years are Japan, China, India, Italy, the United Kingdom, and the countries in the Arabian Peninsula. This is due to the geological structure of these territories and their vulnerability to climate disasters. All other countries will survive a little longer, but ultimately, they will face the same fate.
This forecast has generated widespread public resonance and vigorous discussion. Some representatives of the scientific community have tried to ignore it, but the number of skeptics is decreasing daily as reality confirms the high likelihood of this forecast's accuracy. Today, we will provide an overview of climate catastrophes over the past week for a specific region of the planet, Eastern Asia. We are particularly concerned about China, especially in light of the forecast mentioned above. We also have the most shocking news of the past week for you. Let's begin. Abnormal heat. A record-breaking heat wave has struck Eastern Asia. For several days, the intense heat has persisted even at night, leaving people with no respite. In the Yueyang district of China, the lowest daily temperature was plus 4 degrees Celsius. In South Korea, in the city of Gangneung, the minimum temperature exceeded 30 degrees Celsius, while the average minimum for July is plus 21 degrees C. According to a study over the past 10 years in South Korea, the number of days of extreme heat has increased more than sixfold, from 9 to 58 days. On July 20th, the Japanese city of Shizuoka became the hottest place in the country, with a temperature of plus 38, 9 degrees Celsius, nearly 10 degrees Celsius above the norm. In Naha, Okinawa Prefecture, the temperature reached 36 degrees Celsius for the first time in 134 years. On July 23rd, the Japan Meteorological Agency issued heat stroke warnings for 40 out of 47 prefectures in the country. Train services were suspended on several sections of the JR Yosan railway line. At a station in Ozu, a Haimei prefecture, rail temperatures exceeded the set limit of 60 degrees Celsius, and in Kagawa Prefecture, rail deformation was recorded. Japan. Meanwhile, other regions of Japan experienced extreme rainfall. On July 20th, Tokyo saw over 50 mm of precipitation in just 1 hour, and in Otsu, Shiga Prefecture, 90 mm, exceeding half of the region's monthly norm for July. On July 20th, an explosive eruption occurred at Mount Sakurajima. Smoke and ash from the eruption rose 3.7 kilometers above the crater, and large volcanic rocks were scattered within a 2 kilometers radius. It is worth noting that Sakurajima is part of the Ira caldera, one of the most dangerous supervolcanoes on the planet, and has shown increased activity in recent years. South Korea. The capital of South Korea, Seoul, and its suburbs were severely affected by abnormal rains and flooding on July 19th. In some areas, more than 88 mm of precipitation fell in 1 hour. In this region, rainfall exceeding 30 mm per hour is considered heavy, and over 50 mm per hour is extremely heavy. In the city of Paju, nearly half of the annual average precipitation fell in just 2 days. As the water rapidly rose, 5 workers became trapped inside a container at a factory. Fortunately, they were discovered and rescued in time. The powerful rains led to the evacuation of more than 900 people. In Seoul, both directions of the Dongbu Expressway, which connects the city with Gyeonggi Province, were completely halted due to heavy rain, and sections of the Naebu Expressway were also closed. At Incheon International Airport, 25 flights were canceled, and 4 airlines had to return after takeoff due to the weather. China. On the morning of July 17th, a massive landslide occurred in Hubei province. The volume of the collapsed earth was about 800,000 m3, nearly equivalent to the volume of one of the world's most famous skyscrapers. The landslide began at the edge of a mountain, but soon the majority of the mountain slid down. Along with it, a 1,200 m stretch of highway and about 4 hectares of citrus orchards fell. In Yunnan province, a landslide blocked a car on the edge of a cliff on the highway. People had only seconds to escape through windows and hatches before the sliding earth pushed the car into the abyss. On July 20th, rockfalls blocked roads to 13 villages in Nanning County, Guangxi province. Fortunately, there were no casualties. Extreme precipitation and flooding have covered vast areas of the country. The water level in the world's largest hydroelectric dam, the Three Gorges Dam, rose 15 meters above normal. In Henan province, the water level in 33 reservoirs exceeded the critical mark. To avoid dam breaches, water had to be urgently released. This caused sudden and destructive flooding downstream. Some residents of Henan and Shaanxi provinces had no time to evacuate because the water release warning was issued too late. Some homes, cars, and agricultural lands were flooded or completely destroyed. Rescuers navigated the streets in speedboats to save people from flooded homes. The day before, in Nanyang City, Henan province, 75% of the annual precipitation norm fell in one day, worsening the situation. In Baoji City, Shaanxi province, 24-hour rainfall reached 1.5 times the monthly norm, setting a local record for daily rainfall. Heavy rains flooded the city zoo, leaving animals trapped. On July 17th, staff managed to move smaller animals, while larger ones had sand barriers and platforms built in their enclosures. They have to wait until the water recedes. Despite the zoo staff's efforts, some birds perished. On July 19th, a section of a highway bridge in Jiangsu County, Shaanxi province, partially collapsed. At least 25 vehicles fell into the river. As of July 21st, 15 fatalities were reported, with searches ongoing for dozens of missing persons. Shenyang County also suffered severe damage. Roads were flooded and highways were blocked. Flooding hit the village of Manchuria overnight, virtually erasing it from the map. In Sichuan province, abnormal rains led to severe flooding and landslides. In Jigu County, Leshan district, 80% of the streets were flooded. On July 20th in Xinhua village, heavy rain caused river levels to rise. 40 houses were washed away, and bridges and roads were destroyed. 10 people died, and 29 are missing. Search and rescue operations are still ongoing. On July 19th, a powerful sandstorm turned the sky in Dunhuang, Gansu province, a murky yellow. Strong winds carried sand through the air, reducing visibility to less than 100 meters. The road police imposed temporary traffic controls on some routes for safety. The popular tourist area in the Mingsha Oasis with a crescent-shaped spring was temporarily closed. On July 20th, visitors to the Great Wall of China were hit by rain and gusty winds that knocked people off their feet. On the night of July 22nd, Typhoon Prapiran hit southern China, bringing heavy rain and strong winds to Hainan Island. In 12 cities and counties, over 100 mm of precipitation fell in a day, with wind gusts exceeding 38 mph. During the typhoon's path through Guangdong and Guangxi provinces, over 26,000 tourists were evacuated. Ferry and high-speed train services on the island were suspended, and attractions in the popular tourist city of Sanya were temporarily closed. It is evident that the forecast announced at the beginning of the video is already coming true, especially in the case of China. The country is plagued by relentless catastrophes. They are taking human lives and, quite literally, destroying the nation. According to official data, in the first half of 2024 alone, 322 people have died or gone missing in China due to natural disasters, and over 32 million people have been affected. Economic losses have exceeded $13 billion. China undoubtedly has a high technical level, but this is not enough to cope with the escalating destructive catastrophes. Moreover, the loss of this country's potential will be fatal for humanity as a whole. And most importantly, these catastrophes will not stop with China alone. They will destroy the entire planet in the coming years. As promised, one of the most shocking news of the past week. Monday, July 22nd, 2024, became the hottest day on Earth, breaking the record set the day before, on Sunday. We are witnessing an unprecedented phenomenon. Records are being broken not over months, decades, or years, but the very next day. Moreover, June 2024 became the 13th hottest month in a row on the planet since weather tracking began. What conclusion do we want to draw today? For several years, our international team of volunteers has been monitoring the climate situation on the planet daily. This is done to objectively piece together the picture and convey it to people. We'll state the obvious, but it's important. Solving the problem is only possible when you understand that it exists. And the longer society remains blind, the more likely the forecast we showed at the beginning will come true. As doctors say, the longer you keep quiet about the problem, the higher the bill will be later. The most frequent question in the comments: so what should we do? First of all, the maximum number of people must realize what is happening to our planet and what awaits us next. In this task, information is a key stage. This is why weekly monitoring releases are made. This is why scientists, together with volunteers, have created a series of forums titled Global Crisis. The more people who familiarize themselves with and spread this information now, the more likely success will be. Thankfully, we now have social media as a tool. When society globally understands the critical nature of the situation and gains insight, this agenda will become #1 in public demand, leading to the unification of all scientific potential, which will allow for a thorough study of the problem and development of a solution. Scientists whom we help have already studied much and developed solutions for climate problems, but they say they simply lack hands. Since this is a common problem, it should be solved by the whole world. When people tackle the climate problem together, they will understand how much better, more effective, safer, and more beautiful it is to unite rather than to be hostile and divided. This, in turn, will allow for the construction of a world where wars cease and society evolves, making a leap in development. These are very real prospects that now depend on your decision.